Hey guys, sorry about being gone for a while. Just been doing stuff, and me and my editor have been thinking of videos and all that. So I'd like to apologize for that, for not being consistent on my schedule and all that. But today I'm gonna do a different video this time. I am going to do a review, or at least make a new series of opinions that I have, or just rants or rambles about stuff, just, you know, media I've consumed recently, or like just anything that happens in general. I guess if I, like I said, consume it and all that. So today, the video or opinion that I'm going to do is about a movie I just watched called Him that came out in like September or whatever, directed by Jordan Peele and all that. Marlon's one of the characters playing the coach. And I like to say so far, I've seen the movie entirely, and I've seen the alternate ending that came with the disc and all that. And the version we got, the theatrical and all that, the main one, it was definitely the best choice of action. Honestly, it was great. Like, you have to obviously see the movie to feel it, but it felt rewarding after all that. I also forgot to mention, I'm gonna make sure this is spoiler free. I won't spoil the movie, so you guys can, go watch it yourself and all that. I don't want to ruin the experience for you. And yeah, this video is also gonna be different, as you can tell. I'm playing a game in the background, but it's probably gonna be blurred out because it's mainly just focused on commentary this time. It'd be probably my expertise because I love talking so much. Him is honestly one of those movies that doesn't rush you at all throughout the scenes and all that. It kind of doesn't drag it out either. It just goes, takes its time, makes you sit with it, and by the time it's over, like it feels like it's quick, but at the same time it's not. But when you get to the ending, it just feels amazing, like I said before, and that's rare for most movies, especially a 2025 one as well. Like, it was pretty shocking watching it. When going into it, I generally didn't know what to expect from the movie because of opinions of how people were saying it was a pretty bad movie, or some people didn't like it. It didn't do insanely hot, but it's also just not a traditional horror movie, and it's not really a sports movie either that is like kind of advertised as, because it's about football and all that, like how many sacrifices, the theme of it was, well, but it's way more psychological. Like, it messes with you than anything else. Oh shit. But yeah, from pretty early on, I could tell it was a slow burn, tension based film on certain scenes where it just felt I felt uncomfortable sometimes. Like, I genuinely didn't know how to feel throughout some of it. But I never got bored. I was completely engaged, focused. They knew what they were doing with the movie. They knew how not to make it boring scene. And obviously, when I finished it, I loved it. When I got to the ending, it just blew my mind. I'm like, wow, this movie could actually be my top 5. Genuinely, I was so blown away. What kind of movie? The movie is basically all about control, identity, and pressure throughout the whole film. It's not trying to shock you every 5 minutes like typical horror movie. Like, instead, it basically just keeps tightening the grip on it. If you're expecting a fast-paced or constant action movie, it's probably not for you, most likely. Like, it's not one of those movies. It takes its time. and certain things and all that. But there's some hope for some people. If you like movies that get under your skin and make you uncomfortable in ways that you can't really describe other than just being quiet, then this movie's definitely for you. Because that's how I felt on some parts. It just felt so weird. And just it really just makes you feel cold. Makes your hairs go up, skin cross. Man, it was really weird. The atmosphere of the movie. This part, I'm basically going to be talking about the tone and the atmosphere. All that, probably should have mentioned that on the segments of this. But the atmosphere of the entire movie is definitely number one. It was really good. Well, at least one of them. It's one of the strongest parts. The camera work, the sound design, even the way scenes were framed, it feels intentional all the way through. There's a lot of silence, which I did mention before, where some parts you're just sitting there looking at nothing, just settling in, letting it sit with you. A lot of close shots included. And certain moments that generally make you feel like something is off when there's not actually anything happening or that you can't see entirely. That the tension never really lets up. What their whole intention was throughout the movie was to make you feel uncomfortable on certain parts, and that was basically the whole point. The performances and character dynamics, dude. Not to mention, like, the casting on this movie was really good. I liked how it was. Like, when I heard the casting of the movie before it came out and watched the trailer and all that, I'm like, okay, how is this gonna work? You know, I never really knew the main character, the actor. I knew obviously Marlon. I'd assume everyone does. When seeing him, I'm like, this is a complete different approach. Like, I never seen him in this type of stuff. But they were very solid. Like, amazing in my opinion. Really solid across the board. The character interactions as well between the characters. Oh wait, my bad, I already said that. The interactions between the characters is where the movie shines throughout the whole thing. You can feel the imbalance without it being spelled out. Like, they don't have to say it for you. You can just sense it. Most of it is basically how the characters respond to each other, the body language that happens, and even the tone too. Like, you can see just by Marlon sitting there, it's just like, for example, seeing him in a role like this is refreshing compared to the other stuff that I've seen of him. Restrained, controlled, and unsettling. It's not crazy either, to where some people, you know, go bad shit insane on some of the stuff. He's very different in this. Themes that worked through the film, which is what I talked about before. The main themes that worked in the film is pressure to succeed, ego, and masculinity. The whole film is basically the sacrifice, or at what cost. Like, you just see how much people do just to get into the industry in general, especially sports, man. You sacrifice so much. And it had me thinking sometimes. I'm like, damn, all that. Like, it shows what happens to where you let your identity get tied to a performance. Because, like, the whole identity of this character was to become a football player, become better, or, you know, with his idol. He wanted to be like him. It also explores how mentorship can blur into control and how approval can slowly replace self-worth. Like, over time, you could see just how fucking crazy it was. Like, it was not, it was unsettling. None of this is actually spelled out for you, like we talked about before, where it doesn't shove it in your face to where you're like, oh yeah, that's what it is. No, you like, you 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 look at it and you're like, it makes you think about it fully. It make the movie fully tries to make you connect the dots throughout the entire thing, so it doesn't like shove it in your face. Like I said before, it's not one of those type of movies that does all that, and I like that about it. I don't like when movies make sure where it just shoves it in your face that, you know, this is the message, by the way. Oh, don't forget this is the message. No, it trusts that you can understand what it means without having to have your hand held to it, which is what I talked about. I don't really like when movies do that, because then just kind of ruins the point of making you figure it out. I will say though, not every movie is perfect, especially this one. Even though I love it a lot, and I said it could be in my top 5, there's some parts that just didn't. I was like, okay, well, you know, that's a little corny, you know, not too good, but it happens. I mean, there's some things that I might talk about, like maybe like at one point talk about my favorite movie of all time, that it's some parts are just like, hey, you know, I still don't like that, but it's whatever. It's not gonna make the movie terrible automatically, and none of that ruined the movie for me. Obviously, just some of them kind of broke the immersion. They stood more out because the rest of the film is so grounded, so it never affected the whole like overall rating for me. I know I'm not a movie critic that knows everything, but I'm just there to enjoy myself. Usually, like, I could watch the most terrible movie and still be engaged somehow, still like some things about it, but obviously still have, you know, some bad things to say about it. But the ending of the movie is the best part. How rewarding it feels. It fully commits to the theme about the movie of sacrifice and all that. I'm not gonna go into spoilers of it. If you're interested about the movie, obviously go see it, man. It's a great watch. Even if you don't like it, I mean, hey, it's still enjoyable to see something new. I've also talked about how I watched the alternative ending. While it hits after seeing the main film, it it's not. It didn't hit as hard as when seeing the main ending for the first time. It was just like, wow. It definitely was rooting for the whole thing happening. Like I also said, it just felt more confident, more earned at the end rather than the alternative ending. And pretty much overall, love this movie. Definitely either a 9 out of 10. Actually, yeah, it'll probably be a 9 out of 10, because I can't give it a 10 out of 10 because it's not like a genuine perfect movie. There are obviously some parts kind of deduct points, but not insanely much. It's a thoughtful, deliberate, and uncomfortable movie. While it's not for everyone, but if you enjoy psychological thrillers that focus on atmosphere and ideas, please put it on your watch list, or at least like give it a thought of wanting to watch it. it was worth it. I think the movie's only like an hour and 40. That's what I mean. Like it was a short movie, but it never felt quick. It never felt slow. Overall, it might be a top 5. Still, I haven't fully decided that because my top 5 is kind of strict on some things, and I might talk about that in a video at some point where I can go for my list of like why this movie's my top 1, why this movie's my top 2, like and top 3, 4, 5. I wouldn't go down to top 10 because that's too much talking. That's a lot of deciding because I've seen so many movies over the years and I can't remember every single thing. So it's usually better for me to just make it easier to do top 5 or even top 3 maybe. And when doing reviews like this of movies that I've seen, I have to do it immediately after, or else it's just gonna, I'm gonna forget about it. I'm a very forgetful person sometimes with certain things, especially with shows and movies and games. Like, if it's even been a couple of days since I've seen it or played it, I can forget the entire story. And some people think that I don't actually pay attention to the media, which is, I mean, fair enough. From coming from their POV, it makes you think that I didn't pay attention, or it makes them think that. But I do. I really do. If I'm, like I said, if I'm able to give out my thoughts immediately, I can easily say that. But anyway, it's been quite a bit of time. I should probably wrap this up because these videos I want to make kind of short compared to my old ones, and it's a brand new series that I might stay committed to if it does really well, or even if it doesn't well. I don't care. I like this. This is my kind of thing, being a commentary person while having stuff in the background. You know, I will like the gameplay will change occasionally to certain games. Right now, I'm just doing Roblox because it's easy and stuff. I hope it isn't too distracting. If it is, then I'll change the game. But anyway, oh yeah, at the end of the video here, I don't really have outros. I don't really see the point of doing that. But my editor will put his stuff here, or the annotations or whatever stuff happens at the end will pop up right here. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my honest opinion about the movie I just recently saw. Well, I kind of literally just watched it and I loved it. Final verdict is 9 out of 10. Great movie. I hope you see it. See ya.